Fixit42 bot says welcome. Stream starts in 5 minutes. Fixit42 bot says T-4 minutes. Dev_Pep says I just added you on Discord. Fixit42 bot says T-3 minutes. Fixit42 says Fixit42 like.
Connected to channel Fixit42.
Fixit42 bot says T-2 minutes. Dev_Pep says okay. Fixit42 bot says stream about to start, 1 minute left.
Right, so during the countdown I run around trying to fix it. So I can't really shout. So there. Right, we have the HTMI from the pipe still. So let's close that. So yesterday I tried to burn the 200 gig SD card again, image it, and it said, oh, this is probably broken. Oh. I tried like 3 times, we'll see. Maybe I'll get some program that's better at it. See if something broke. Because it was kinda new. I think I used it twice. Would be very odd, but I guess you should use stuff when you just buy them. So, Dev, did you join the Discord? That's what you said, right? So very welcome in that case.
Dev_Pep says yep.
Beeping. Nice. I'll check in there later. So my OBS is a bit shaky. It's because my computer is not like new, so I don't have it running during stream because it kind of crashes a lot. Discord is not very stable. So let's just see here everything. You're right. I just remembered what we were doing. Let's see here. So we were doing this actually last time. Not this, but this. Kotlin. But I was thinking, I haven't progressed on my path for a long time here, so maybe it's time to get back to buffer overflow. But I want to learn that too. So now I'm like conflicted. Maybe we should do a bit more. I realized they added more to the course. It's a university course that I joined. Since they're free. Oh, let's see if this is one. This is the one, maybe? So, let's log in and see if this is the right page. Yeah, so, but okay, so this was added like a day ago, and it's a video. We can't really do anything with this, because it'll be in Swedish, probably. I'm assuming. So... So, is it running? So... Unmute. I was like, what? There was no mute on this one.
Om Gradle, som ett verktyg som Android Studio använder för att kompilera våran kod.
Okay, so nothing for stream. Yeah. So then we can't do that at least. But we could explore it more anyway. I need to check in one thing on this one too, because I'm not sure if I'll do this one though. So... Right. So, very messy having to do this. Just for university login with this free courses. It's like a bit too much, I think. And to do this, I will need to type code twice. And let's do 20. And my pin code once more for some reason. Oh well. There. So what I remembered was that this dude said something about Thursday. But this is also in Swedish. That's disappointing. I would prefer to have them in English, actually. Yeah. So, let's see. Nothing about Thursday here. So, is there a schedule? What? So the deadline was this morning and they say Thursday. So I see this as this is Wednesday deadline. Yeah, so I'm not sure I want to do this one. Okay, so these are like just where you get your... So this is what we're supposed to do. So the course started Monday. And it's fully distance, meaning I'm like... So I would start the first weekend really with this kind of thing, right? When you have lots of stuff to do. So I haven't bought the book. So I don't have the book. And it's expensive too. And you can learn these things yourself. But I'm like... I applied for a lot of courses and I was like, But now I apparently missed the deadline for this one. So I can't even see where the task itself is. There. So this is a very wrong. Be careful with your calculation. Don't round in the middle of it. Oh, so there's a quiz I'm supposed to do. I'm not doing that now. I haven't read anything on this. Well. So it says 17 here, and they said, yeah, because 17 is not today, the day either. You know, that's 1.5 hours. So if that's it for that course. So I like courses where there's like flexibility in case people work full time and then they're doing this on the side, so they start on the weekend. So I'll just say that, and if they're not flexible enough, then they won't get my attention. I think they'll get extra money if people complete the course. You know, I could still look at this and get all the data I want and watch like lectures and stuff, right? But I don't have... I'm not going to like do exam and stuff if it's not like reasonable. Right. So the other one I think is probably... It was nothing the first week, but check the program out, you know? This is also quarter speed or half speed, I don't know. So, yeah. We're also doing this. We're doing... what else? Right. So there's lots of other stuff up. And this is really where we were with the buffer overflows. We started reading about this. And I like that this page has stayed logged in now. I did tell it to, but the logins in HTB has been funny lately. So I started a new one now anyway. For the academy. So this is the second thing I click. I clicked the start one too. Let's see. Yeah, introduction here. So I think I did a few of them some time ago when I just started looking at cybersecurity stuff, and that was more than a year ago now. I couldn't log in with any of my emails, nothing worked, So I'm thinking they just cleaned out stuff, like people not having been active for several months or something. So, yeah, I'm curious about, is this the same VPN as this normal HTB, you know? Because that I already have. But I can't stream it because I'm not paying. So, if it's supposed to be like one login now, so we still get this login in the selection. It's not like, oh, I'm logged in, so it will know that I'm logged in here too. So let me go to labs. This is what I mean with normal. But let's check this out. But I don't remember what it said before. Oh, right. I clicked a few of them, did I? Yeah. So some of them was just, it was to test, because it said this one is a certain number of bits, more than I had. So I thought that if I click it, nothing will happen. But at this stage, I'm not going to pay anything. If they're good, maybe. Or yeah. We'll see. So that's actually the food being finished. I was so hungry, I just took a tiny bit of yogurt first. So part of the reason I clicked here, I want to go to the start. I don't want to continue. I want to start it from the start. It was like 2-3 pages of text. So module summary. This module introduces buffer overflow attacks. Yeah, so let's update the let's do HTB Academy. So HTB Academy. They usually do like, well, I guess that's, yeah. Let's do the normal one. Learning hacking at HTB Academy. Right. Let's do Overflow with capital O there too. So, and I don't think this one will update, but we'll see. So there. And let's hop to YouTube quickly. Alright, sorry. Well, you can tell me if I'm on the wrong screen. So I've been talking and no one has been seeing anything. So why didn't that button work, by the way? So now it's connected. So now we can switch. I don't know why. I got an ad and stuff, so it should have been connected already. So we have today until about 16 or something like that. So, because I need to get in shape, I have to go training a bit. So I'm just changing the title of the stream in YouTube. I'm taking the time to do that today. So let's go to studio. So there. We can remove the question mark. We'll be doing buffer overflow stuff today. So I kind of felt that for stream's sake I didn't want to do too much of the same thing in a row, you know. But then this is what I need to learn and what I wanna practice. So why not? I don't want to learn other stuff too. But as I said, the Kotlin University course is it's very slow, and it starts like, it started Monday too, but that one is like reasonable, like, oh, check the program out and test a few things first week. Not like, oh, like 2 days after starting we have several things you need to have turned in, meaning reading from a book I haven't got, and we'll see. So I just finished this. By the way, we could TTS it. Let's be efficient, right? So this is saved. Yeah, so yeah, this is what I clicked. One of these was too many points, and it opened there anyway. So I guess we click there. Can we click here? So this was the odd thing. This is what I don't like with this academy, and also that it's hard to get around. You can't click these, right? So if I want to look at something on this, I can't click it. I have to go like back a million steps. That's not easy to use. So I don't want to continue. I want to hop to the start. So will I have to do continue and then back? So page 4, can I click this? I can click page 4, but what happens? JavaScript void 0. I am apparently on page 4, but I want to go to page 1 or 0 or whatever it starts at. At the bottom we have a previous. So I have to go here and I have to click previous. This is bad, right? So table of contents. Maybe these seem clickable. So is this the first page? Yes. So if we go back to this one, here I can't click them, but if I click continue and then I click here, then I go to the start, and we got an error too. I guess they're still building it. Let's assume. I always try to assume positive things. So is this history? Yeah, this is not fact. So it's 2 examples, I remember, articles. So that's C++, low level functions that don't check what they copy, and input. So this is green, but it's not like you can click it or anything. It's just green for emphasis then. Exploitation phase goal is to use the information found, and unless it's to exploit the potential ways to gain interaction. Interaction. Access to the target system. I'm just scanning, so I'm not reading. Yeah. Right, so let's TTS this bit while I finish my sandwich, and I will see if I'll
Exploit development introduction. Exploit development comes in the exploitation phase after specific software and even its versions have been identified. The exploitation phase goal is to use the information found and its analysis to exploit the potential ways to gain interaction and or access to the target system. Developing our own exploits can be very complex and requires a deep understanding of CPU operations and the software's functions that serve as our target.
That's what we were doing before.
Many exploits are written in different programming languages. One of the most popular programming languages for this is Python because it is easy to understand and easy to write with. In this module, we will focus on basic techniques for exploit development, as a fundamental understanding must be developed before we can deal with the various security mechanisms of memory. Before we run any exploits, we need to understand what an exploit is. An exploit is a code that causes the service to perform an operation we want by abusing the found vulnerability. Such codes often serve as proof of concept, POC, in our reports. There are two types of exploits. One is unknown, zero-day exploits, and the other is known, end-day exploits. Zero-day exploits. An zero-day exploit is a code that exploits a newly identified vulnerability in a specific application. The vulnerability does not need to be public in the application. The danger with such exploits is that if the developers of this application are not informed about the vulnerability, they will likely persist with new updates. End-day exploits. If the vulnerability is published and informs the developers, they will still need time to write a fix to prevent them as soon as possible. When they are published, they talk about end-day exploits, counting the days between the publication of the exploit and an attack on the unpatched systems. Also, these exploits can be divided into 4 different categories: local, remote, DOS, web app. Local exploits. Local exploits / privilege escalation exploits can be executed when opening a file. However, the prerequisite for this is that the local software contains a security vulnerability. Often a local exploit, example in a PDF document or as a macro in a Word or Excel file, first tries to exploit security holes in the program with which the file was imported to achieve a higher privilege level and thus load and execute malicious code / shell code in the operating system. The actual action that the exploit performs is called payload. Remote exploits. The remote exploits very often exploit the buffer overflow vulnerability to get the payload running on the system. This type of exploits differs from local exploits because they can be executed over the network to perform the desired operation. DOS exploits. DOS, denial of service, exploits are codes that prevent other systems from functioning, i.e., cause a crash of individual software or the entire system. Web app exploits. A web application exploit uses a vulnerability in such software. Such vulnerabilities can, for example, allow a command injection on the application itself or the underlying database.
So, I'll go and fix my kids' food while we TTS the next one, and then I'll read myself, hopefully. Yeah. Alright, yeah, so this is repetition too. I have already done this as an end of a stream. So I think I TTS'd too because my throat was not perfect. So let's put the only image up, and let's TTS it, and
CPU architecture.
I'll be back.
The architecture of the von Neumann was developed by the Hungarian mathematician John von Neumann, and it consists of 4 functional units: memory, control unit, arithmetical logical unit, input/output unit. In the von Neumann architecture, the most important units, the arithmetical logical unit, ALU, and control unit, CU, are combined in the actual central processing unit, CPU. The CPU is responsible for executing the instructions and for flow control. The instructions are executed one after the other, step by step. The commands and data are fetched from memory by the CU. The connection between processor, memory, and input/output unit is called a bus system, which is not mentioned in the original von Neumann architecture but plays an essential role in practice. In the von Neumann architecture, all instructions and data are transferred via the bus system. Von Neumann architecture. Image. Memory. The memory can be divided into two different categories. Primary memory. Secondary memory. Primary memory. The primary memory is the cache and random access memory, RAM. If we think about it logically, memory is nothing more than a place to store information. We can think of it as leaving something at one of our friends to pick it up again later. But for this, it is necessary to know the friend's address to pick up what we have left behind. It is the same as RAM. RAM describes a memory type whose memory allocations can be accessed directly and randomly by their memory addresses. The cache is integrated into the processor and serves as a buffer, which in the best case, ensures that the processor is always fed with data and program code. Before the program code and data enter the processor for processing, the RAM serves as data storage. The size of the RAM determines the amount of data that can be stored for the processor. However, when the primary memory loses power, all stored contents are lost. Secondary memory. The secondary memory is the external data storage, such as HDD/SSD, flash drives and CD/DVD-ROMs of a computer, which is not directly accessed by the CPU, but via the I/O interfaces. In other words, it is a mass storage device. It is used to permanently store data that does not need to be processed at the moment. Compared to primary memory, it has a higher storage capacity, can store data permanently even without a power supply, and works much slower. Control unit. The control unit, CU, is responsible for the correct interworking of the processor's individual parts. An internal bus connection is used for the tasks of the CU. The tasks of the CU can be summarized as follows. Reading data from the RAM. Saving data in RAM. Provide, decode, and execute an instruction. Processing the inputs from peripheral devices. Processing of outputs to peripheral devices. Interrupt control. Monitoring of the entire system. The CU contains the instruction register, IR, which contains all instructions that the processor decodes and executes accordingly. The instruction decoder translates the instructions and passes them to the execution unit, which then executes the instruction. The execution unit transfers the data to the ALU for calculation and receives the result back from there.
Like new stuff.
The data used during execution is temporarily stored in registers. Central Processing Unit. The Central Processing Unit, CPU, is the functional unit in a computer that provides the actual processing power. It is responsible for processing information and controlling the processing operations. To do this, the CPU fetches commands from memory one after the other and initiates data processing. The processor is also often referred to as a microprocessor when placed in a single electronic circuit, as in our PCs. Each CPU has an architecture on which it was built. The best known CPU architectures are x86/i386, AMD and Intel, x86-64/AMD 64, Microsoft and Sun, ARM, Acorn. Each of these CPU architectures is built in a specific way, called instruction set architecture, ISA, which the CPU uses to execute its processes. ISA, therefore, describes the behavior of a CPU concerning the instruction set used. The instruction sets are defined so that they are independent of a specific implementation. Above all, ISA gives us the possibility to understand the unified behavior of machine code in assembly language concerning registers, data types, etc. There are 4 different types of ISA. CISC, Complex Instruction Set Computing. RISC, Reduced Instruction Set Computing. VLIW, Very Long Instruction Word.
Oh, these two
EPIC,
I'm interested
Explicitly
in.
Parallel Instruction
And they
Computing.
didn't do anything.
RISC. RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer, a design of microprocessors architecture that aimed to simplify the complexity of the instruction set for assembly programming to one clock cycle. This leads to higher clock frequencies of the CPU but enables a faster execution because smaller instruction sets are used. By an instruction set, we mean the set of machine instructions that a given processor can execute. We can find RISC in most smartphones today, for example. Nevertheless, pretty much all CPUs have a portion of RISC in them. RISC architectures have a fixed length of instructions defined as 32-bit and 64-bit. CISC. In contrast to RISC, the Complex Instruction Set Computer, CISC, is a processor architecture with an extensive and complex instruction set. Due to the historical development of computers and their memory, recurring sequences of instructions were combined into complicated instructions in second-generation computers. The addressing in CISC architectures does not require 32-bit or 64-bit in contrast to RISC but can be done with an 8-bit mode. Instruction cycle. The instruction set describes the totality of the machine instructions of a processor. The scope of the instruction set varies considerably depending on the processor type. Each CPU may have different instruction cycles and instruction sets, but they are all similar in structure, which we can summarize as follows. Instruction description. 1. Fetch the next machine instruction address is read from the instruction address register, IAR. It is then loaded from the cache or RAM into the instruction register, IR. 2. Decode the instruction decoder converts the instructions and starts the necessary circuits to execute the instruction. 3. Fetch operands if further data have to be loaded for execution, these are loaded from the cache or RAM into the working registers. 4. Execute the instruction is executed. This can be, for example, operations in the ALU, a jump in the program, the writing back of results into the working registers, or the control of peripheral devices. Depending on the result of some instructions, the status register is set, which can be evaluated by subsequent instructions. 5. Update instruction pointer. If no jump instruction has been executed in the execute phase, the IAR is now increased by the length of the instruction so that it points to the next machine instruction.
So, I'm thinking we'll multitask a bit. Because this is the SD card reader that I got the error on this SD card with. But I'm thinking, why not try another one? It might not be the SD card that's broken, right? It's also 200 gigs, so yeah, got it out. So let's put it in one of these and put it in this reader. So let's see. Yeah. This should be like, is it this way? That's odd. So maybe it's even here. This is the oddest reader, but I'm sure I used this before, so. Let's try it again. Something is saying no, not here. Right, so what about this? Yeah, so I got it in. It's upside down, that's why. It's supposed to be inserted upside down. So I figured maybe the card is in the middle and they're like on the bottom. So let's just start another attempt on this at the same time. Doing this because that's a long wait, you know, burning a SD card. So I think that what I did the first time when I installed Kali without this thing's own image here, so we chose the well, this is what Raspberry Pi it is. There's a Pi 4B 8 gigs, and the operating system here we select custom. So I don't want it to configure anything. I don't want it to set the machine name, anything, right? We have a screen for this. We don't need it to be messing about with doing stuff automatically. We want to do it all ourselves. So star.xc here, because I remembered the name. So now we're choosing the storage. Now this is where we see if the reader works at all. So this is the slowest thing I've seen. So the reader is not here. So this is just my normal hard drives, except the C one. So let's try the other one, Belina. Come on. So the mic is in the way, I can't see. That's why I'm dodging it. So this one uses the target as the second one. So file. So I was thinking that I'd try the Raspberry Pi app too, because oh my god, it's slow. What's wrong with my computer? So my VM has been on here. So let's just put these in the nose and close it down. For now, we can start it later. First the target. So it's not found, which is logical. So let's see now. If we open just the file explorer, and the drives are here. So I kind of assumed So the problem with these kind of multi ones is that you don't know which drive it is. So this one is gray. Let's also look at this. So yeah, let's fix the VM slow problem. So so we were doing SQLi stuff. SQL. Yeah. So let's do H. If it says nothing else, we will notice. So new note, current, web, academy, and let's do to right. I don't know why it hops like that. So HTB. So the response here is this is the wrong request. Okay, I was testing stuff. I was going back and forth. So this is the normal one. Oh, we're on one. I was looking for this one. That's why. Right. So the last one here is where we get the password. And then we have like finding out why and what we needed to do to get the password. So let's copy this one instead. I'm just replacing the other request. The other one was for a previous one. I'm like, well, the error-based one we made a script for. We don't need that one. So that's how long it took for it to give us the error message of the drive. I guess we'll click J this time. So maybe this reader, I should get like a new reader. That's good. That I know works, and that's like modern. This is probably USB 2. So let's just get the response to. I really would like to save more of them. That's why I haven't removed these. So HTTP. So here's the full error message. So new error message, right? Come on, thing. So why the slow action? Just hopped up without saying a thing. Oh, I noticed that you double clicked this 10 minutes ago. So, well, Windows could definitely be more quick about those things. 6 examples. So I'm looking for, this is one type of error based one. Am I blind? Yeah, this is where. So let's put it here instead, so it's at the right place. So also we had to remove the full. I'm just remembering I did write this somewhere. The full tracking ID to get enough characters. Or we got, and let's put the last error message here. So it is. It's just with different fonts, the same thing. So we got unterminated string literal start at position 95 and other positions. Now it popped up again. So that's a multitasking thing. Did it realize something was there? But we still, when we click it, we get the waiting thing here. Oh well, so now we can close this down. Because this burp probably has like a million requests to nothing, because I had Firefox up to. So let's just close it, and we can start it later if we want to like connect to the Academy. So now it's buffer overflow. Right, we just added an Android one there because we installed Android Studio, we updated it. So here we explored R2, we explored GDB, we explored a lot of things. So now we have like we'll see what we'll get, where we wanted, what kind of thing we want to type. So it did finally find that there's nothing inserted in J after a long wait. So I think my food should probably be cool enough to eat. This is just a system drive, and also the source drive, and this one doesn't show that, it just shows the ones it can use. So there's also a possibility that this card is too big for this reader. Oh. Yeah, I didn't undo it. I'm curious now if we go back. I need to know everything. I need to have all the knowledge. Yeah, so I think it's still marked complete there. You never know. Yeah, so this is interesting. So, let's take this first bit in TTS while we do look at the card thingy.
Memory exceptions are the operating system's reaction to an error in existing software or during the execution of these. This is responsible for most of the security vulnerabilities in program flows in the last decade. Programming errors often occur, leading to buffer overflows due to inattention when programming with low abstract languages such as C or C++. These languages are compiled almost directly to machine code and, in contrast to highly abstracted languages such as Java or Python, run through little to no control structure operating system. Buffer overflows are errors that allow data that is too large to fit into a buffer of the operating system's memory that is not large enough, thereby overflowing this buffer. As a result of this mishandling, the memory of other functions of the executed program is overwritten, potentially creating a security vulnerability. Such a program, binary file, is a general executable file stored on a data storage medium. There are several different file formats for such executable binary files. For example, the Portable Executable Format, PE, is used on Microsoft platforms. Another format for executable files is the Executable and Linking Format, ELF, supported by almost all modern Unix variants. If the linker loads such an executable binary file and the program will be executed, the corresponding program code will be loaded into the main memory and then executed by the CPU. Programs store data and instructions in memory during initialization and execution. These are data that are displayed in the executed software or entered by the user. Especially for expected user input, a buffer must be created beforehand by saving the input. The instructions are used to model the program flow. Among other things, return addresses are stored in the memory, which refers to other memory addresses and thus define the program's control flow. If such a return address is deliberately overwritten by using a buffer overflow, an attacker can manipulate the program flow by having the return address refer to another function or subroutine. Also, it would be possible to jump back to a code previously introduced by the user input. To understand how it works on the technical level, we need to become familiar with how the memory is divided and used. The debugger displays and names the individual instructions. The debugger can be used to detect such vulnerabilities. We can manipulate the memory. Another critical point is that the exploits usually only work for a specific version of the software and operating system. Therefore, we have to rebuild and reconfigure the target system to bring it to the same state. After that, the program we are investigating is installed and analyzed. Most of the time, we will only have one attempt to exploit the program if we miss the opportunity to restart it with elevated privileges.
So, we've been playing with this on other streams for quite a few streams. But now, let's go through this. So we've already read about these, but let's let the TTS do it still.
The memory. When the program is called, the sections are mapped to the segments in the process, and the segments are loaded into memory as described by the ELF file. Buffer.
Hot
Image.
food.
.text. The .text section contains the actual assembler instructions of the program. This area can be read-only to prevent the process from accidentally modifying its instructions. Any attempt to write to this area will inevitably result in a segmentation fault.
Dev_Pep says I'm kinda new to all this.
The .data section contains global and static variables that are explicitly initialized by the program. .bss. Several compilers and linkers use the .bss section as part of the data segment, which contains statically allocated variables represented exclusively by 0 bits. The heap memory is allocated from this area. This area starts at the end of the .bss segment and grows to the higher memory addresses. The stack memory is a last-in first-out data structure in which the return addresses, parameters, and, depending on the compiler options, frame pointers are stored. C/C++ local variables are stored here, and you can even copy code to the stack. The stack is a defined area in RAM. The linker reserves this area and usually places the stack in RAM's lower area above the global and static variables.
So this is why this
the contents are accessed via the
backwards.
stack pointer, set to the upper end of the stack during initialization. During execution, the allocated part of the stack grows down to the lower memory addresses. Modern memory protections, DEP/ASLR, would prevent the damage caused by buffer overflows. DEP, Data Execution Prevention, marked regions of memory read-only. The read-only memory regions is where some user input is stored, example, the stack, so the idea behind DEP was to prevent users from uploading shellcode to memory and then setting the instruction pointer to the shellcode. Hackers started utilizing ROP, return-oriented programming, to get around this, as it allowed them to upload the shellcode to an executable space and use existing calls to execute it. With ROP, the attacker needs to know the memory addresses where things are stored, so the defense against it was to implement ASLR, address space layout randomization, which randomizes where everything is stored, making ROP more difficult.
So let's stop this. I have some food still, but I need a break. It's hot. Yeah, so I'm kind of new to it too, though I've been like researching it for a bit, adding stuff to my notes. Also, my notes are public, but I'm not sure how long it was since I updated. So maybe the buffer overflow stuff is not there. I think it is though. So there's tools for the command line. One is called R2. That is, you can run a program through it, and then you can debug, get information about what is in the memory. You can get information. Let's look at the example bit here. So here you can run the program here, buffer overflow, with debug into this program, do AAA to get analyze a lot of stuff and get more data. And then you can list its strings by, there's a lot of commands, a lot of them. You can get the strings from the program. For IA here you can get like a lot of different information. AFL will will list the function addresses. So here we have the main is at this address. The function in here, copy arg, that's in the program, it's on this address, and then str copy, C's function, and puts, these two are on these addresses. So then we can do, we can also grep here in this. If we do PDF, like a PDF file, easy to remember, a function with an, this is like its address here, it will return this. We could also type the address there. Then it will disassemble the function for us. So this is a disassembled function main for this program. Let's see. So, by the way, this is the machine code, and this is disassembled. So if we would have looked at in memory at this address, we would have seen 55 hex, and the next one would have been like from, as you see, 64, 65, and then it hops more because it's more in this line of machine code instructions. So, but it's decoding it for us, so we don't have to remember what all of these are, right? And this is for the copy arg function here, and this is a few of the helps, the commands available. I've just listed a few. You can do I question mark to get everything on I and something, and then there's, if you do ID question mark, you get a new list. So it's like infinite, it feels infinite. Then we have GDB, which is very similar, but I think it's older. And here you do kind of the same thing. And then you have commands like run, start, but you can also do one letter commands, like info frame is I space F also. But then you have to remember that IF doesn't work for info functions because it's actually info frame, right? So it might be nice to type the full words. So it's just a different way of seeing it. It doesn't have the colors, the nice colors that R2 has. The output is actually colored. Let's see, do I have a screenshot here? No, that's too bad. Let's look at an example. So here I think I will look at an example. No, number 3 maybe? I don't see an image in here. Yeah, so, oh, right, number 2. What about adding number 2? So, these are links to other pages. So, here is stack 0. And stack 1. I'm thinking one of these might. This has a bit of a color here, you can see. It's actually kind of pretty, not just black and white. And this is obsidian that I'm using for the notes. It's coloring strings here. That's why it's green in some places. But it looks like this pretty really. When you see it at the command line of the machine. Right, so let's not dig into this too much, but go back, and if you have any questions, you just ask. I looked a bit at assembler too. Oh, this is more like old notes. Here's my buffer overflow note. Basics. Buffer overflow is when vulnerable code writes over a bigger section of memory than it should. The C function gets and str copy are example of functions, so it doesn't check the available space for writing. For example, if it reads from the user with the gets function, and you have a variable that's size 10, and you write more than 10 characters, it will overwrite other stuff in the memory, and that's what we're using. Yeah, I don't want to like repeat. Here's one of the images, how it really looks on the screen. This is R2's AA PDF function. It looks like this. And here I'm going to add more stuff as I learn. So let's go back here and see. I wanted to add this to my notes because I don't have it. So all the modern preventions, we stumbled upon a few. As we're trying to run these Protostar on my Kali machine, instead of running it on the VM that's supplied, it's got English or American keyboard. And I don't know how to type on there. And also it's a fun thing to explore. So we also run one of them on
Panda Tongue says redeems go hiking.
Okay, you're in the wrong day, Panda. It also didn't say your name today, right? Or did it? It did maybe.
Panda Tongue says lol.
Yeah, it probably did, right? Yesterday we could have gone hiking. Well,
Panda Tongue says it did.
Yeah, next week my kid will be 1 hour and 45 minutes in school instead of 1 hour 15 minutes, so we can go hiking. I'll see, maybe I'll have to use the time for something more reasonable than just running around and hopping on some rocks there in the forest. We'll see. But I also need to get in shape, right? That's important. And it's health related, right?
Panda Tongue says hopefully I'll be here.
Yeah, I hope so. So it's Monday and Wednesday, like 14 my time. I don't know what is your time. 14-ish. But it's usually when you start work, right? Yeah. So, let's see. We have compiling test programs. No. It's in the buffer overflow, but it's on compiling away security features. So I'm kind of thinking that this bit will go to a new file that's called modern. Countermeasure sounds so formal. Modern stuff. Remediation also sounds very formal. Well, modern programs. Trying not to sound too formal here in my notes. So I'm actually cutting this. And yeah, this is related to the other stuff, so it's fine to cut. So compiling security features. Well, security features, that doesn't sound too horrible. I can go with that. Remediation or something else that would sound too fancy, right? There. First, let's explain them. And I don't know what they all are yet, but this is where we're learning it. So, modern memory protections would prevent damage caused by buffer overflows. DAP. So DAP is data execution prevention. So I'm kind of thinking, let's copy this and rewrite it into our own text. That's the best way. So DAP. Data. So let's make this a header, because this is the topic of this thing. And whatever of, yeah, it's the same. Hope so. Regions of memory are marked read-only. We don't need those. It's like badly typed, but I still would want to change it. For example, the stack and other areas. For example, the stack. Oh gosh, that's a bit too much. I clicked end instead of... Well, maybe end is okay. It's just that Obsidian interprets it in some funny way. So, regions of memory. For example, the stack. Well, we all understand that it can't be all of the stack, right? Are marked read-only. This is to prevent. So we'll have to Google this. This is a horrible explanation. It's not enough. To prevent users from uploading shellcode. From uploading. That's ugly. It's bad. From putting shellcode in memory. and running it by setting the instruction pointer. So this is obvious. We skip that. Well, another. I guess I'll have to do countermeasure here. So rope return oriented programming allows upload of to an executable space. And then users existing calls to execute it. Requires knowledge of the memory addresses where things are stored. So ASLR can price to prevent this. And then we do a new header here. And it is there. Randomizes where everything is stored. So we have already right here, but tries to then okay, uses. I was reading from the wrong line. Users can't get around. Users. So they're trying to switch words, not use hackers all the time or something else, but what a user. Oh well. So, for food. And also, actually cutting my muscles here, they're sore. So it's tough to cut stuff. So makes exploits less reliable. So then we do counter measures again. So we're logical. So this is also too little information. This is like a start only, right? Leaking memory addresses. How? Well, we know that we used R2 to run the programming. We could debug and see addresses where things are, right? But that's not like the common thing to do if you already have that access to the machine. So there's a vulnerability in the free float HTB server on Windows XP. So DAP. So added after Windows XP, right? We know this. That's what's modern. We're not talking DOS 3 here. So I'm sorry for eating. So the buffer overflow will still exist in an old program, but it would be non-trivial to exploit. There's no known way. Possibly leaking memory addresses might not be possible. That's what everybody wants to know, right? So let's see. We have a few notes from this. That's nice. So now they have an example vulnerable program using str copy. That's one of my examples there for vulnerable functions in C. It doesn't check, it copies from one variable to another, and it doesn't check what size the data is, so it will just overwrite anything. That's too much. I have just a few bites left when I'm done with the food. So let's see. So let's read this quickly. We include a few libraries. We have a main, of course, and then we have int bowfunc. Char string is as an argument. So it calls, main calls this function with the argument in here. This is like exactly like one we have done before. And it creates a buffer 1024 characters. That's kind of big. And then it copies this into there. So I'm kind of thinking this is more like a reasonable safety measure thing, not doing like 10 characters, right? But also we'd have to add so many characters to fix it, to break it, to buffer overflow. More than 1024 characters, more than 1023 at least. Since there's a null at the end. Terminating the string in C. Hi there YouTube, I see you. There's a lot of, a lot of hearts. I I see you. So you're very welcome in. So let's see. So, modern operating systems have built-in protection against such vulnerabilities, like address space layout randomization. And that's what we just read about, right? For the purpose of learning the basics of buffer overflow exploitation, we're going to disable this memory protection feature.
KD Subel says nice.
Yeah, welcome in. Let's see now. So, disable SLR. So this is for Linux, this section of this here, it's on Linux. So we know this, right? So I think there's one for Windows too. We'll have to do that one later. But Linux is like friendlier. It's friendlier. I'm starting my VM again here, so it's running. It doesn't take a lot of time. I don't know anything about what they'll ask us to do, but anyway. Echo 0 to this. We'll have to test this, right? Of course. I think that what I did, and that I have in my here, compiling away security features, remove canaries stack cookies, is with a no stack protector, and remove position independent executable here. That loads executable at a different memory address every time it's run. So if we remove this, it will always load on the same address, which is like very funny to me. But I've recompiled the program, and it still ended up in the same memory address. That was very odd. No, I didn't recompile it, not for that. What I did was I started it several times in different like shells, right? And then if you have it running once, then it's still always, every time you run it, you restart the machine, you reset the virtual machine, everything, you still have the same address there. It's very odd. So I'm thinking, if I was making a operating system, how would that occur? So I mean, since it's somewhere on the hard drive, right? But when it's loaded into memory, shouldn't it just by chance and by logic end up in different places? I need to know more. I'm greedy for knowledge. So this is disable. So first of all, we will make this header here too. So that was compiling away it, but now the operating system will still have safety, even if we're trying to compile it away. It was always try and do stuff, right? Disable. Let's do the same, right? I like using the same words, like security features. We know what we're talking about. We're calling it the same thing. Right, let's add for testing, because this is not something you should do on your machine. So, yeah. So a subheader of this, 4 number characters now. Make it a lower level header. ASLR, and so we don't need the sudo so here. We could put sudo in front of these instead. I'm sure. Let's actually do it like this. We look at this, we do it on our machine and we see what happens, and then we use that for our notes. So that's much better. You should always have done things that you make notes about, right? So, fresh restarted VM. So first, let's sudo. First, let's do it without sudo. Can we cat proc says kernel and randomize. So since these are files, I can tab complete. I don't have to type the whole thing. So it is 2 currently. Now we know what to reset
Loading.
it to, right?
Says Lokma June.
Hello. Welcome in. Ah, fun, cool username. Loading ... So let's now do the echo, and now we're overriding it, and we're not doing it with sudo because we want to see what happens, right?
Loading. Says try Alt F4 please.
No. I want to continue doing this. I don't want to stop it. So, we're doing 0 to... well, I guess I'll have to type it again because I don't want to copy. Kernel. Randomize.
Loading. Says Sowi.
Ah, no problem. You're welcome here. Let's learn together. Lots of funny stuff, alright? And also fun. So, permission denied, as we should. So now we do the same with sudo.
Loading. Says romantic face.
So, so we still got the permission denied. That's interesting, right? So their suggestion is sudo su. Let's first check the permissions. So we will lslay this thing that I don't want to type again. So lslay this. So this should be a very safe thing, but we can also write it as admin, right? Yeah. So this whole
Gabriel
thing
Cullen
should
says
be
giant.
run. This whole thing should be run as root when we do this, but it doesn't work. So let's do sudo then. And this is nothing I really do anymore. I'm trying to be a good girl and don't sue. And now I'll have to type it again, but I typed it enough times, right? So let's copy paste this, and now it is done. So I'm going to exit the root mode, and we will do the cat from our normal one. So now it is 0.
Gabriel Cullen says smash or pass Joe Biden.
What? So I'm Swedish. If you talk about American stuff, I'm like, what? Of course I have like a clue about the politics, but I'm not doing, this is not a political stream, right? So I might have my, let's say that the other one is who likes Trump. I don't get it that anyone can choose him. Sorry, now we're going political, but it's like obvious, right? And why do you have so open politicians? Can't you have
Loading.
young people?
Says du svensk.
Yes, I'm svensk. Jag är svensk.
Loading. Says Vire Oxa Svenskar BTW.
Cool.
Loading. says Okvi Gillerkeikelinger.
Okay, okay. Um, right, so I'm going to continue, not like sidetrack on this. But everybody's welcome in and learn together with me.
Loading.
So
Says Specielt Keikeliing med smack of Barbels Nya Chocolade Bowl.
I don't know what you're talking about there. Chocolate balls with chicken. I'm not.
Gabriel Cullen says Obama Claw. Rogue says, skull, skull, skull.
So let's clean this up. We put this in here so we have a
Loading. Says Ibzer
example.
Rogue. Rogue says Bomba Clot Grabber Vod Gourni.
So, okay, so a lot of Swedish people in chat today. Very welcome in. So I'm like thinking, do we want all of this? Really? So
Gabriel Cullen says Dayum Son. Loading. Says Det Smackar got Och. Fraga into minimum 10,000 calorier diet.
What?
Loading. Says Rogue Hard do Snapchat.
Me? No, no.
Rogue says Jag E Paw Mega Bulk just new.
So I don't know what that is. Sorry. So we sued here, right? And then we did this.
Gabriel Cullen says, face blue smiling. LeBron James is GOAT. Loading. Says 1,000 gram fed oc 2 gram protein min diet.
Okay, okay. So I'm not sure those kind of things are very healthy. I go for what my body thinks looks good. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's how I do it. So I'm trying to be not eat
Loading.
too much.
Says
not
man
healthy
most a
stuff.
Jew damn 2 gram uranium ohm dagen 4 dead or bra 4 megan.
I don't think you should eat uranium. That's probably not very good for you. So let's continue actually studying here. This is fun, you know. So Islar.
Loading. Says men hard do snap Rogue.
I don't know. Oh.
Rogue says
okay,
Brukar
okay.
Dama and
Yeah.
Hemlas person Ibland. Loading. Says BTW Jat Finkud. Rogue says Ja Dara.
So it's I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's the TTS reading Swedish. What would happen if I had my normal TTS? It would be translated. Also, I recommend Twitch. You have like a 20-second shorter delay until you know, live interaction, and there's a long delay in there on YouTube. I guess it's they want to check stuff before they stream it. So, example on my Cali packs.
Loading.
So,
Says Vod Tiker Duom Pontus Rasmussen.
so if you're talking to me, I don't know who that is. Let's see here. So I want to focus on this now. By the way, if you want to talk to each other and not have the TTS read it, you can do a dash first. So
Gabriel
everybody doesn't
Cullen
have to
says
hear it.
basketball is a dynamic and popular sport that captivates millions of fans and players around the world. Invented in 1891 by Dr. James Naismith, the game was designed to be a fast-paced indoor activi. Loading. Says Jag E44 or Gamal Ok Job Bar Hos Epic Games Ok Min Papa Khan Bana Dig Om Duer Taskik Mo Mig. Gabriel Cullen says Drake likes Miwars. Loading. Says FR.
I'm sorry, but everybody doesn't see it. That's so please keep to English in chat, please. It's the language of the stream. So I don't have Swedish actually on the list even as a language.
Loading. Says Inget Dash.
So yes,
Jag E
go
into
for
Bog.
English,
Man most a
everybody.
Jew or a Vod Man Sager.
And if you're
Jagger
spamming
blind.
TTS, I will have to turn your TTS off. So I can do that. I'm sorry. So no like facts about basketball. I'm going to continue. So, to disable ASLR, we just did this, and we know that the default value for us was 2, so we can reset
Gabriel
to
Cullen
return
says
it to
LeBron
that.
James, LeBron 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 James.
TTS button time. So here we can see who used it last, and it's the same person who sent the last message, right? So I don't know why, but I can take
Rogue
a
says
name
grabber Vart Comer ni Fron.
and remove the TTS. Yeah, but go English, okay? English in chat.
Bamakla says Din Mama.
Right? English.
Loading.
Please.
Says him so I disappointed you. Only self-harm can help me now to teach myself to not do it again.
Well, so if...
Loading. Says Vi E. Fron Stockholm, Salt Shabaden.
Yeah, okay, I'm in Sollentuna. Okay? So... other side of Stockholm. So I'm going to focus on this now, and I will even turn off TTS if it's too much. And please keep on topic. You're welcome to talk about this.
Bamakla says La Bamakla. Gabriel Cullen says Kobe Bryant died. Face purple crying. It was so sad dance OG.
Yeah, so Gabriel Cullen, this is a lost warning. Please be on topic, right? Or I'll have
Rogue
to
says,
get my,
face
my
orange biting
streamer bot
nails.
up. So I'll put up my code here for spam, and I'll add you to my spam chat ban.
Bamakla says PLS don't turn it off I beg you.
Yeah, it's just come on. Keep on topic. And it would be a personal thing for the person who spams, you know, so not for everybody. I can show you how it works here. So we have this program called StreamerBot, and I have code.
Gabriel Cullen
in
says
different
no
places
Pwetty,
here.
please don't ban me face purple crying.
Yeah, I'm not going to ban you. I would just mute your TTS if you do send a lot of messages on TTS, right? So I would mute your
Bamakla says,
TTS.
face blue smiling.
Right, so here I have code, and it only speaks it if this returns true. And we have a few persons here that are, these don't, they can't TTS, right? So, have to be nice boys, everybody and girls.
Bamakla says don't ban his TTS.
Yeah, I'm not.
Gabriel
I'm
Cullen
not.
says no please.
Yeah, I'm not. As long as you stay on track. So no mega long TDS messages. So let's continue here. We're actually going to do this here now, right? We're going to compile the code. So first we need to copy the code. Let's do it.
Loading. Says Jag Tar all min
So?
inspiration of Fran Drake. I alt Jag Gur. Gotta hit them
So
young.
please English. Please English, right? This is a new thing. I haven't done the HTB Academy, so I'm thinking we'll make a directory called HTB A for HTB Academy, right? Maybe even this. It's like obvious, right? So and
Bamakla
let's
says he
make a
does pre-orders on
directory.
12-year-old kids. Gabriel Cullen says Sigma Sigma on the wall who's the skibbities of the all.
Yeah, so Gabriel, I want to be on topic, okay? Chat on topic. You can talk to each other with a dash first, it's not
Loading.
TTS. That's okay?
Says but I am your Pookie so you can't turn of TTS.
So, 2 seconds, my kid's snacking. Let's get back, good morning. You don't like it?
Bamakla says ooh kids. Gabriel Cullen says, face red heart shape. Loading. Says how gamble. Gabriel Cullen says kids. Loading. Says is your barn. Bamakla says I would like to pre-order. Gabriel Cullen says no. Gabriel Cullen says I'm a Sigma. Bamakla says can I PLS pre-order your kids? Loading. Says hard do block it min rost. Gabriel Cullen says hey okay. Loading. Says Jag Khan into Prada. Loading. Says Jalp Mig. Bamakla says Sigma Sigma so is the skibidist of them all. Loading. Says A. Loading. Says A. Loading. Says A. Loading. Says F. Loading. Says SG. Loading. Says DF. Loading. Says FGH. Bamakla says Bombkla. Loading. Says Gyat. Bamakla says Gyat damn. Loading. Says 69. 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 Loading. Says 420.
So my
Bamakla
God.
says what the Sigma is happening. Gabriel Cullen says, eyes purple crying. Loading.
Okay,
Says
okay,
Skibbity.
people. What did I say about spamming chat, okay? So
Gabriel
I need to
Cullen
go
says
help my kid a bit.
FBJJJW Chue JWJC Wedge WJ Kushu Chu Chu Siwe Ikwe Kiu Q Chu Chu CKW CW CW CKW CW Chu CWP Chu Chu
So
Iwe
this is
Chu I
not
Chu
even in my
Chu
chat
CW
yet.
Siwe CJW Kwe
Yeah,
Kwe
so
Cook
okay,
CKW
I'm just
WW
turning off
Fue.
TTS now
Loading.
because this is
Says
too
sorry.
much.
Loading.
So
Says sorry.
I know that some people love
Bamakla says sorry I
playing with
didn't
the
mean to him
TTS.
so.
Uh,
Loading. Says it won't happen again.
so you sure? So I'm going to get some yogurt in a plate, and then I'll be back here. Actually, I can turn on the mic. So now we
Gabriel
have two
Cullen says
mics,
no
and now
rag
we have
too.
unmic.
Loading. Says it's our group chat. Gabriel Cullen says no. Gabriel Cullen says no. Gabriel Cullen says N. Gabriel
So-
Cullen says no. Loading. Says no. Loading.
So guys,
Says no. Loading. Says N0.
Yeah.
Bamakla
Okay.
says no.
So you said not again. That means now we're disabling TTS for YouTube. Okay. So it is now disabled. So for everybody, for a bit, and then we'll enable it again. And also I will ban you if you do like bad stuff. Saying no a few times, that's not bad stuff, okay? But I can't hear you now. I'll be back in last 4 minutes or something, or less. We can put on some music, right? Let's do this. Så gubben. Yes. Jag fixar maten nu. Vad sa du gubben? Okej. Men jag skulle ju gå upp och hämta den på vinden, jag bara glömde bort det. Därför jag har sytt fast den i hörnan. Okej. Yes. Vi tar ett nytt ämne. Oh shit! Varför har jag sagt att vi inte ska väga på stolen? Jag tar det lugnt där nu. Vad är den främsta anledningen till att jag sagt att du inte ska på stolen? För att du kan ramla och göra illa dig. Sen kan ju stolen gå sönder också. Det vore ju sämre. Inte att du gör illa dig, men jag tror inte du gör illa allvarligt. Linus ligger på golvet och skriver fortfarande. Jag får yoga till grabbar. Boys! So, I know you can hear me eating, at least sometimes. I know there's a bad connection in the other room. So my 14-year-old, he just leans back so much in his chair that that's it. So he was still sitting in his chair bad on the floor. He didn't hurt himself or anything. Never told him not to do that. Never. So I'm a 14 and a 16-year-old. So let's see here. So to get some more yogurt. Yeah, you kind of like this song, but I don't want to hear it too much, right? We should make more songs. We should make more AI songs. That would be something to do. Hello. Jag gjorde inte det, gubben. Yes, men jag gjorde inte det. Ska du ta själv? Jag tror igen. Jag behöver gå tillbaka dit in, gubben. Jag måste ha koll på lite vad som händer. Vad som händer och fötter. Jag sätter lite vatten här. Så. Varsågod. Oj. Är det flingor? Jag fixar det. Så, jag såg. Så. Alright. So maybe I should pause TTS when I pause the stream. So no more spam messages. Okay, let's make a try and see. Let's see if we can continue studying without getting other stuff happen, right? So I'm going to enable the TTS, and I will disable it at once if this happens again. So let's continue. Right there. So This we have already read. We have added to our notes about DEP, Data Execution Prevention, and ASLR, Address Space Layout Randomization. And I just copied this text to make a file. So let's copy it again just to make sure. I will hop over to Kali, and I was going to make a directory, but that's why I was scrolling up to see the name of this page. Yeah, so I guess, right, okay, I will copy the name of it. No, I won't. Stack. Let's do buff, right? Stack buff Linux. That is x86, we don't have to say, right? And let's cd the same directory. So, and here we're going to nano yeah, this is kind of good name. But let's see if it has an actual name here. It is bow.c, right? So let's use the name. I had to copy it a third time because I overwrote my copy. So nano bow.c. I'm typing in the wrong screen. That happens. So guys, if you're still here, now you want to be cool hackers instead of chat spammers, right? You learn this stuff. This is fun, very fun too. So let's paste the code, Control SX to get out and save it all. And then we're going to compile it. And I'm assuming that we had instructions here. So we did disable it here like this, right? So we have 0. Now I guess we will make a 32-bit binary because that's what they're doing. We already have GCC multilib, I'm sure. So we're going to do normal. As you can see, they also use no stack protector. CXX stack. I don't know what this one does. If we compare it to my notes, to our notes, we can see here that what I have is no pi and no stack protector, and also G to save the debug symbols into the executable. So we're going to learn things here, though they are not doing G. So file and okay. Oh, this is a nice one. Replace all the commas with new lines so you print it prettier. That's nice thing. One of these details, you know. Maybe I should do it. Should use it. So let's GCC, and this one is called. So we're using M32 as they did, as you can see in this old one. But this one is double .c, and then we have O. And they do both 32, which is reasonable, right? This is a 32-bit version. We can do a 64-bit version later. And then we have FNO stack. So I hear my kids using bad words there. And then we have the C that I need to know what it is. So I'm not going to leave this area before I know what this is. And then we have M32. So CX stack. What was C? Did I use C? 2 seconds. I'm just scrolling up. So it's not anything in there called this. I can already see that there's so if we do bow 32 here now, we should be able to. Oh my goodness, I forgot to dot slash. We get a segmentation fault by doing nothing. Let's file it. So file bow 32 5. Yeah, if I shift instead of Alt GR, I get the wrong character. Right. So the first character is comma, and the second character is backslash n, which is new line. And if we were to do this without this, it would be commas instead. It replaces all the commas with a new line. I think it's kind of a smart thing, right? Not that we need it, it's easy to read this way, and it takes less lines. Yeah, so just to practice TR then, I guess, because I prefer this format. Maybe I'm like stupid, but I prefer it in 2 lines or 1 line if possible. So it is an L32-bit Pi, LSB Pi executable, because there's no Pi. Version 1 says dynamically linked interpreter, SO2, build SHA-1, build for GNU Linux, not stripped. Right. So we have our executable here now. So the next section of the text here is interesting to me. We need to add, I've only done this so far with str copy and gets. So it's really repeating the same thing, this exact program, but with a smaller buffer. I've already done. So by the way, let's see here at, so the TTS is enabled again anyway, if someone is interested. I think they left. So yeah, but maybe also scared of other people. So so the stream has been 2 hours. I have a maximum of 1 more hour today. So let's just focus now and actually do this. So GCC multilib, GCC, we run this, we file it, and TR is like, let's keep this TR as an example in our TR notes, because I think it's kind of like nice, even though I don't like it for this command. Might do it some other time. Linux commands. Oh, here TR. So let's do my file. There. So I assume this was what happened. Now we know too. Yeah, this I used. This is my example. I think it was in a box. So, um, so I would like to have more in the list here. There are several vulnerable functions in C program language that do not independently protect the memory. Here are a few functions. Actually, when I used this back in the day, I prefer to read one character at a time, so you have control instead of doing that. So I didn't like them. Yes, gubben. Wait there. Vänta en sekund. So I forgot to switch back to my normal mic. There. So. Nu jobbar jag ju. Jag kan inte det, men om en timme ska jag göra mat igen i det år. Okej? Men då gör vi det när det är fredag imorgon. Ja? Yes, det tror jag. Om vi ska se en film tillsammans, så gör vi ibland. Men då spelar vi Minecraft imorgon tillsammans, okej? Igår hade vi kunnat göra det, men du tyckte det var viktigare att vi får prata, eller hur? Igår var det så varmt i hos dig så jag kunde inte riktigt sitta där och tänka om det. Jag behöver gå och jobba en timme och sen är jag klar, okej? Och så fixar jag mat till business. Nu går det iväg. Om en timme så så stänger jag av det där och då gör jag mat till er när jag går iväg, okej? För det är ungefär en timme som vi har göra saker och göra mat och äta mat och sånt, okej? Jag kommer ut om en timme igen. Ska jag jobba en timme till? Nej. Om en timme så kan jag hjälpa dig med saker. Okej? Om en timme till. Om 2 timmar. Så det är en timme som jag är tillgänglig. Ska jag ge dig pannkaka först? Ska jag ge dig pannkaka först? Nu. Ska jag ge dig pannkaka nu? Det är snurrig, grabben. Jag måste gå och kissa nu. Oh, there. So there. Now let's continue. So we're going to add the rest. So sprintf, scanf, and strcat. Let's copy these and let's add them to the list of buffer overflow. We can minimize the whole Linus thing. Linux, not Linus. So what if my kid's name is Linus? I have called him Linux sometime. So I'm like, where? It's at the start somewhere. Yeah. Here. Well, let's actually just add them. Oh, they're all like this. Why do this for function names? Scanf. So, and strcat are examples of functions that doesn't check available space before writing. There. So, HTB introductions. HTB, or the GNU debugger, is a standard debugger of Linux systems developed by the GNU project. Yeah, so we've done this. It's been ported to many systems. Supports the following programming languages: C, C++, Objective-C, Fortran, Java, and many more. So what does it mean that it supports them? I'm curious now. HTB provides us with the usual traceability features like breakpoints and stack trace output that allows us to intervene in the execution of programs. So I should have read this when I was just randomly Googling to find this, right? Because the Try-Hack Me rooms didn't teach this, right? So here's a win for Hack the Box Academy. They actually have this, and it's also free. So I'm not paying anything. I haven't paid anything for this. It allows us, for example, to manipulate the variables of the application or to call functions independently of the normal execution of the program. Oh. So it's a bit annoying with the cars now. If it continues, I will close the windows. It's usually like not a lot of cars here. Yeah, so I've got like 40 minutes or something. It also allows us, for example, yeah, I'm closing the window. Why so many cars now? I'll actually getting home from work, is it? I'll be actually getting home from work now. So I've tied the window in place. There. So, what a messy stream. Car noises and a lot of TTS problems. And with problems I mean spam. So did they leave when they realized I was a mom? so they know it don't work to mess with them all. Maybe. So this might be, of course, when it compiles it, do we remember stuff from that information? It allows us, for example, to manipulate the variables of the application or to call functions independently of normal execution. We use HTB to view the created binary on the assembler level. Let's move on. Q. So HTB Q. Let's actually look this up. So HTB. Oh, typing on the wrong screen. Let's see if it can do this. I don't think so. It works like this one. Oh! I thought the H. Well. So we didn't add the H. So let's see. What is Q? Q is quiet. Do not print version number on start. That's what quiet is. So we can totally skip Q, it's meaningless. So I was like, oh, there's a new interesting option. Okay. It's just the normal stuff, right? What we didn't do here. Let's actually add the compile option. Right? We didn't do that. I'm like, so why was I in there? This is it. So the difference between this is done on the settings here. We'll also need to restart and see if it's reset to 2. I would assume so, and that this is just current value. So I'm going to Google the option we used. First, let's check what C is, right? So GCC. Let's see if 1H functions. No. Right, so it didn't have a help, and we didn't need to do man, and I don't like man, so let's Google. And we also have ChatGPT, so so that was days ago since I used it. Now has memory. Okay. So maybe I can tell it to do short replies now. I've tried. Memory used to give you more relevant responses. If you have model training enabled, it can you use to train.
Shynister says, is there any way you can give API for chat? Disappointed face.
You can have an API. I don't know if it's free anymore though. It was a test period, so I think they might have added it back again because I had to disable it in my Discord because it started answering messages suddenly a few months ago. It was a bit funny though. So you're welcome to join the Discord too. You're in control. Review your clear specific menus. Yeah, so we enable memory, and we'll ask you to remember. Always ask with a short answer when possible. Memory updated. So, which do you think I will approve of? The short one or the long one? But it's good to have it confirmed that it did understand the meaning too. So we don't know if it understands it from that one. So far, I hope so. I don't know yet. So now let's ask it. GCC. Actually, GCC. Explain. Let's see if it gives a short answer now. Oh, that's okay. So the C option in GCC is used to mark a stack as executable. This makes a stack memory region executable, allowing code execution on the stack, which is generally allowed due to security reasons, e.g. to prevent stack-based buffer overflow attacks, meaning we need to enable it. However, using this option is risky as it weakens security by enabling yeah. Well, let's add, remember, I study cyber security, so you can skip reminders, that what I ask for might be insecure and insecure or illegal. If not explicitly allowed. There. Memory updated. Understood. So let's add this to our notes. Rewriting it again, of course. So we have a new option here. So this is our option. Mark the stack as executable. This makes the memory stack memory region allows code execution on the stack. So GCC. Let's use the same example actually. So we're just adding to it. there. So if I delete the last one, it will remove the first one too. So that's why I did another first. So so what is this called? XX stack. What is the security feature called that disallows, I don't care about spelling, security, that allows stack exec. It will understand from that, or understand. Security feature to disallow execution on the stack is called Stack Smashing Protection, SSP, or non-executable stack. It often implemented as a part of data execution prevention, which marks memory regions like the stack as non-executable to prevent code. Nice, and it's doing short answers. It's wonderful. So it works so far. So I've had to add for everything, right? To give, I got tired of saying answering 3 sentences. So I stopped, and then I got like pages and pages of not what I wanted, right? When you want a short answer. I'm glad. It's getting better, right? I'll have to test it with simple batch scripting as I did before, and it couldn't find simple errors like, oh, there's a space where it shouldn't be, like that kind of thing.
Panda Tongue says batch script it real good.
It's good at that now, okay, because I asked it to make a script that I have as a VB script that actually I have to remember to rewrite this. It just gets my public IP and logs it to file, so I can see like every day what IP I have externally. Since it's like when I restart stuff, my fiber converter and stuff, and keep it down for a bit, or there's big network problems, then I get a new IP. Otherwise I don't. So it's good to know if it changes. So that script I asked it to make in batch format, and it failed. It failed. I asked it like several times, like 5 times maybe, the same question. So what is the error here? And then I had to say like, maybe the error could be this. And then it was like, oh, there's an error here. So I'll have to test it again and see if it's better now. So first of all, we don't want those stars. We want this to be a subheader. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Space header. A security feature that it used my I said disallows. Well, okay, I guess it's okay. So often a part of. So we just had this before, so we don't need it again. Which marks memory regions. So the regions of memory, for example, those flags are marked read-only. And I think this is bad, you know. marking it non-executable. This is what it's supposed to be, right? So should probably be non-exec. Oh my god, extra characters everywhere. So I guess this one should be here. And I think I made a new line in the middle there, so now it's fixed. So short text that explains it. Let's ask ChatGPT if it thinks this is correct. Is this source text correct? Non-executable, yeah. That's what I was thinking before. But this is what it says in the room, you know? And it's not like I trust more ChatGPT more, but if it confirms what I already believe, so I understand that this is like a mega short version. Mark said read only. This might be a more correct version, but then probably ChatGPT would have. So I need to learn more about LLMs, really, because it's kind of amazing, right? That we can get these kinds of answers from ChatGPT and others. So as this is very, like, I recognize it, you know? Oh, they do disassemble main. What do I have in my notes? I have PDF. No, that's a wrong program. So R2 and GDB commands, they mix in my brain. So disassemble. Alright, yeah, I have disassemble there. So yeah. So it's the same. I already have this in my... We can do it still. Well, let's just skip the queue. So let's do GDB. Whoa, 32. And let's do quit. And then do the queue version. So yeah, so we don't get all that information that we don't really need every time. We only get the actual information related to this. I like you. I don't know if it's worth typing 2 extra letters to skip those lines though. Oh, 3 extra letters actually. So let's put it in the notes anyway, right? Q for quiet skips the license info, right? So, dump of assembler code for function main. Let's actually do it too, right? So, there, and we have colors. So GDB colors. Okay. So did I get a new version of it? Am I like remember everything wrong? I remember this not being very pretty with the colors. Let's see, what version is it? It doesn't even say version. Just copyright. So what the Google told us was that Q didn't show the version number, right? In the first column, the hexadecimal numbers represent the memory address and numbers. With the plus sign shows us first jumps in memory in bytes used for the respective instruction. Next, we can see the assembler instruction with register and their operation suffixes. The current syntax is AT&T, which we can recognize. Yeah, on that, I've never had this as default. I don't know if this is a Kali thing, but now I have it. Something happened with my GDB. What happened with my GDB? I'll have to go back to old streams and see if I'm like stupid and don't remember this. Gosh, I'm kind of tired actually. So we don't want AT&T. That's not good. We want Intel. So set is disassembly flavor Intel. We can do that. I'm kind of sure I have it in my notes already. So so let's add it here. Maybe it is that I only have it for R2 again. This is a mess. Here, set syntax. So I have it here, but not for... I'm kind of thinking that I'll put it up here, right? So let's do set disassembly flavor. So talking about long names for things, right? Set to Intel syntax. And to make sure I didn't mistype, I will copy this. And we're going to paste it here. There. And then we rerun this one, and now we have nice percent free and the correct copy order and stuff. So disassemble main, snap it's not showing all of it this time. We don't have to change the display mode manually, continually. We can also set the default syntax with the following command. I think this is so ugly. If you're editing a file, a init file, you don't just add to the end, right? This is ugly. Ugly. It's the same with people that do this to the host file. You might already have it in there, right? The IP address. You gotta edit it, and look. If it's not like it, you can't do that for some reason. But on your own machine, you can do that. So, I'm like, did I fall asleep? Yes, probably. So, home directory GDB in it, right? I didn't Control C. I shift Control C and it opened that F12, whatever it's called. I just have it in another window. So set settings and what? There. Good. And now we can add new tab. That was slow. And it didn't open a new tab, it opened a new window. So, what happened to my Kali? That's odd. So, we're at home again. So, I have to try again. Did I do the wrong thing? I must have, because that worked. So I pressed wrong keys apparently, but I opened the tab, but not the way I wanted it. But this is better for this thing. So let's nano this file, and then I'm thinking, since I'm going to the early training today, we're just Xing, we're not saving this. So if the file doesn't exist, we can use the command they had. And it does seem to be nothing there. Okay. So let's do this again, and let's set disassembly flavor into. Yeah, and this is what pops up here when I click too many buttons. No, it didn't manage copying at all. I hate settings. Nano, the only thing I like with Nano is that it is just Control SX. I never use anything more. If I want to use more, you know, then just saving. Then I use the graphical editor. So Control Shift V there, and SX there. And if we do GDB, I don't think this one exists, right? Whatever, I don't care, because I need to go to the other one. Yeah, I do need a quick bathroom break. That's kind of why I'm. But I only have 20 minutes left, so I don't wanna. Let's do this thing. I'm about to go live, you know what I mean. Got high expectations, gonna teach you something new. Learning, yeah. So, yeah. Just want to shake it off. Welcome to my stream, where knowledge reigns supreme. Calm and collected, I'm about to go live, you know what I mean. Got high expectations, gonna teach you something new. Learning, hacking, exploring, there's so much we can do. Feel the excitement as we dive into uncharted lands. In discoveries await in this digital wonderland. Together we'll unlock secrets, unlock the code, no limits. Or rather, we're going here, right? So, so I don't assume it will read any configuration. Before being restarted. Oh. So, let's run the same command. Let's do. I'm kind of thinking it has a memory, no? Yeah, I'm tired. So I was thinking like this is not 2S's. Why am I typing this? And then I was like, I'm probably wrong, but I wasn't. Oh. So we can see the boson call here. Get PC tonk px puts. Right. It has the right syntax. So that's good. We want Intel. If you now rerun GDB and disassemble the main function, yeah, we just did. GDB until syntax. Right. The difference between AT&T and Intel is not only the presentation, it's also the order, right? Also the order and direction. Let's take the following instruction as an example. Yeah, this is a bit of a mess, right? So Intel destination source destination VPN service. Each time you switch, your connection keys are regenerated and you must re-download your VPN connection file. So we're not using any such thing yet. Answer the questions below to complete the section and earn cubes. Click here to spawn. SSH to user HTB student and password. At which address in the main function. I'm like, I don't want to do this if I don't have to, because you can only do it like a few minutes every day, right? So, do we have any other things here? Because I think also I can start it only once every day. If I wanted to continue later today, I can't do that because I cannot stop it and start it again, and the minutes will have run out. So I don't know why I would want to start it. I've done this on my machine. And if I click download the VPN connection file, yeah. Ah, gosh. So I'm assuming that my address will not be the same, but it's funny that it asks about what I was like. Oh, we can see the ballfunk here. So let's do plus 40. Can I submit this? This won't be correct. I don't want to do this now if this is what I have to do. Connect with this. Yeah. It won't be right. Well, I guess we have to do this. Or is this what I should have clicked? Then I can SSH to it. Right? Oh. Right, it's a pirate one. And it's an ugly VM. Tiny screen inside my browser. I guess it's good. I guess it's the target is still spawning, so it would have been enough to click here, right? And I have 119 minutes. So if I terminate now, I can't start it again. If I know this, let's click the parrot. So how do I close this? Oh, I can X that. This looked like a terminal to me. So let's click here instead. Bash. And here we have PowerShell. PowerShell on Linux. Okay. By free will. A Twitch address in the main function. Right, so we have an IP now. I'm going to take the opportunity to test this. So I always use my VPN, start it on here. So we're going to try this. Oops. I'm so tired. And let's add a new tab. And this is H2. HTB. Student. Right, I slept too little tonight. I'll have to go to bed early today. 10.129. It was 6 hours, I think. So it's not like mega little, but still. So if it finds this IP, the normal VPN works, and if it doesn't, I will have to use 2 VPNs for HTB, which is horrible. Why would they want that? So separate networks, I guess. Okay. So I'm thinking we're on a different network. But it would be nice to have a VPN less. I just aborted it once. Didn't get anything on 13 packets. So I'm really tired, and it's time to stop soon. I can set up the VPN without streaming. You don't have to watch. It's just to download, but I think it might be showing me the key, you know. So let's see if is anyone infosec streaming. No, just me. So let's click this one and let's mute. So it's just one. But I know that before it was more than one. I guess I will raid. Oh, Panda. Yeah. Let's raid Panda. He was here. So I was misspelling it very, very oddly. Togn was an extra G in there. So let's raid Panda, and let's also he's doing something a bit random. I don't know what it is. We're muted. I'm just going to copy the URL, and I'm a bit tired, so this is why I'm reading a bit quickly. And we did Andy yesterday, and it said 1, so there. So Panda does IT stuff usually. Work. But he plays games and stuff. I don't watch game streams really. But I've watched him do Diablo once, I think. Right. Let's just click the button and I'll go to my kids and myself some more food. Not that I need more food now, but I'm going training. Oh, I'm so tired. Yeah, this is funny too. It says we're rating 4 people, and it said that I was like 1 in the stream. Well, now we're 4. Yeah. Woohoo. So could I do that? Oh, it's low volume. I'm stopping stream. Bye bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.